Hello dear friends, hi, it's August. This is Cozy Rosie Reads, and this is the start of another weekly reading vlog. It is Saturday today, and I've had a productive quote-unquote day so far. I actually just finished filming and editing my July TBR video, which was so much freaking fun. I will link that video down below, but if you're interested, this is my stack. I'm so excited. I love doing this TBR challenge. It is so much freaking fun, and it just oh wow, there's so many cool unique books on here that I definitely wouldn't have picked up on my own volition. I was pretty productive in that sense, but I do have some other things that I need to get done before I fully relax for the day. So tomorrow on Sunday is my first wedding of 2021. So I am a professional wedding photographer. Tomorrow is my first wedding. I'm so freaking pumped. I've had the chance to second shoot for other photographers and weddings, so technically this will be my third wedding I'm photographing so far this year, but this is mine where it's my own. These are wonderful clients that I've had the chance to work with. We had a video call yesterday to talk about it, and unfortunately I feel so horribly bad for this couple. It has been the shittiest weather ever. Earlier in June it was 90 degrees, it was so hot and steamy outside, and now for the past 4 days it has been thunderstorms and raining. And if you look on our weather apps here, it is rain for the next week and a half, and I just feel really awful because they had an outdoor ceremony planned, and now we're just not quite sure what the weather is going to be like. So I do have to go out in a little bit and try and find some clear plastic umbrellas in case they want to get adventurous and go outside. We can still at least get photos. What's nice about clear plastic umbrellas is that you can still see everybody's faces even if they're really hunched under there. So we'll see. I'm hoping I can find some stuff. So I do have to leave, but it is forecasted to start thunderstorming in half an hour. So I really gotta scoot my booty and hop out. But I did just want to hop on here and give a quick update. I do have some packing I need to do for tomorrow. I need to charge all my camera batteries and format all the memory cards and yada yada yada, all that super fun stuff. But then I'm hoping for the rest of the night I can just kind of relax before the big day. I have to get up super early tomorrow, so I definitely want to go to bed earlier and just chill out before a full 10-12 hour long day, because the venue is an hour and a half drive for me, so I have to get up super early, hit the road really early. So tomorrow I will try my best to get some behind the scenes footage of this beautiful wedding day. It is going to be so gorgeous no matter what, rain or shine. It's gonna be beautiful. I'm so excited for my couple. Oh my god, they're just the best. So reading updates. I am currently reading The Midnight Library by Haig. I am now on page 155. I'm really liking this. It's so funny because the stupid, dumb hipster in me wants to not like this, which is so dumb. It's popular for a reason. It's because it's really engrossing, and I am really just genuinely enjoying this. I love how short these chapters are. Why has no one talked about this? Chapters are only a page long to 5 pages long. It is so easy and accessible to read. Obviously there are a lot of dark topics because we're following our main character Nora, who decided to end her life, and in doing so she was transported to the Midnight Library, where every book in this library tells a different story of how her life would have gone if she made different decisions. And I just really love that concept, and I love where this story is going. I love the different lives that she's encountered, how she's faced disappointment in each one, and as soon as she faces disappointment this life wasn't really actually fulfilling, she would be bounced back to the Midnight Library and start again with a different life. So the life I'm in right now with her that I'm reading from, she is working in the Arctic, and it's just I just love that scenery so much. The cold, the wilderness, the elements, I just really love reading from it. And she's just grappling with a lot of different things, but I'm just legit thoroughly enjoying this book. I'm really curious to see where it goes, how it ends. That's really gonna tell me what the rating will be, but so far I'm just enjoying this so much. So I'm definitely gonna be finishing this during this week's reading vlog for sure. And when I end this reading vlog, I think it's gonna be the last few days of June. So far I only have one book left on my June TBR that I haven't gotten to, but I've already kind of admitted defeat with that, and I put it back on my bookshelves. So what I'm gonna do instead, once I finish the Midnight Library, I'm actually just gonna keep reading From Summer by Karl Ove Knausgaard. So I'm gonna keep reading this one just because it has a whole section on June, and I talked about this one much more in depth in my last week's reading vlog, so I'll link that down below as well if you didn't catch it, and if you want to hear me talk a little bit more in depth about this one. I don't think it's going to be quite July by the time this vlog ends. I'm not even sure what— oh, it's raining now! No! Frick! I missed my window. Obviously, I can still go to the store in the rain, but now I just like really don't want to. But yeah, so that's where I'm at. That's what I'm gonna be doing for this reading vlog, and I'll be finishing the Midnight Library, telling you my thoughts on it, and then reading a little bit more of Summer as well. I would honestly love to get a head start on my July TBR though, because Summer, the book, it's interesting and I'm enjoying it still, like just kind of reading it in between things. But I don't think it's like it's not a narrative. There's no plot, there's no characters to like feel attached to. It's just a lot of like little vignettes. So I think honestly when I finish Midnight Library, I might start on a July TBR book. So if that's the case, you all get to watch me pick out what the heck I'm gonna read first, and that's always a lot of fun for me. I love choosing like what mood I'm in, basing it off of the weather, or basing it off of how I felt about Midnight Library. Like there's just so many elements that go into like why I pick my next read. So we'll definitely do that together too. So thank you so incredibly much for being here and watching and staying tuned. I hope you really enjoy this reading vlog. Now let's cut to some rain montages because it's really coming down. Good morning, friends. It is like almost 8 o'clock in the morning. I've been up since 5. I am in line at McDonald's to get hash browns to carbo load for today's wedding because I don't know if I'll actually have another meal today other than this, besides granola bars. So I need to just have some hash browns. It is a beautiful day outside, not sunny, but it's like perfectly overcast and gloomy and gorgeous. So I have really high hopes that things will work out today for this couple. I really think that the rain will hold off, but we're gonna have this beautifully gloomy sky, which I freaking love. So, yeah, I've already had 2 coffees today. I feel like my eyeballs are still a little tired, even though I've been up for a while. But yeah, I'm just gonna be traveling. I just have another hour to go. I've already done half an hour drive. I have another hour to go, and I'll be there, starting my day. Long day. It's gonna be so much fun, and it's probably gonna go by really, really fast. So, check in with you later.
Good morning. It is Monday morning, and yesterday was the wedding day that I photographed. It was pretty moody and rainy and like really humid outside, so my couple decided to have their wedding day indoors in the barn on the venue property instead of having an outdoor ceremony. But it went so well, like everything flowed really well. There was never any sense of like a huge rush. Everything was on a good timeline track. Like it was just such a smooth day. Like not every wedding is as smooth as what yesterday was, and it just worked out so perfectly. I'm gonna insert some photos here of this beautiful couple because I cannot get over how stunning they are and how kind and wonderful they are. Like I freaking love my job. Like wedding days are so stressful to photograph because you only get one chance, and most of the time I work solo, so most of the time I don't have a second shooter. It just amazes me how, you know, sometimes I don't feel super confident, or sometimes I get really nervous still, even though I've been doing this for like over 3 years now. But it feels so good to be like, oh my gosh, I like crushed that wedding day. I crushed that over 8-hour long wedding day all by myself, like coordinating everything, telling everyone where they need to be, organizing the photos, getting poses and prompts, and like just doing everything, figuring out lighting. Like I'm just really proud of myself. It was just a really wonderful time. So I just felt really, really good. And I was able to be home by 7:30 yesterday, which is amazing for a wedding day. Usually I don't get home until like 10, 11, midnight, depending on the drive. And then when I got home, Alec treated us to some dinner, and then we started watching a new show, so I was able to like just decompress. And then I did, of course, edit these sneak peeks because I just like geek out about it and I just want to edit immediately. So I definitely did that too. Yeah, I hope you all enjoyed the photos. If you want to see more of my photo work, I do have a link to my website down below for photography, and then through there you can also find my photography related Instagram. So if you ever want to check that stuff out, like please feel free. While I'm based in Michigan, like I can literally go anywhere for work. So if you're ever interested, not me trying to plug my own work. Ooh, awkward. So this morning though, I did finish reading The Midnight Library by Haig. I just finished it a few minutes ago, which was so funny to me because I had like 10 pages left last night, and I was like, perfect, I'm gonna finish this. I'm gonna finish it. I only have 10 pages. And I just kept doing the head bob of falling asleep. The bob and weave, as we call it, the bob and the weave. And I couldn't stay awake. I read the last like, 10, 15 pages, wherever the heck I was. And I ended up giving this 3 stars. 3 stars is not bad. For me, it's just 3 stars means it's not super memorable. I didn't really connect with it, but 3 stars also typically means I just had a lot of fun reading it. Like it wasn't laborious to read, like I did have a good time. It's just not very memorable for me. This was so much fun to read at the beginning. I would say about like the 2/3 way, I started getting not bored, but it was just getting really repetitive, very redundant. And it just kind of felt like it wasn't going any further than that. There's a few moments of kind of like stream of consciousness-esque of Nora's thought process about wanting to live and kind of reigniting the spark of life and rediscovering the pleasures of normal life, what it means to be alive, what it means to have a multitude of possibilities in our lives every day, how there's different universes of us doing so many different things. Like that topic was discussed so much in here, like to the point where I was like, you're beating a dead horse. Like, I get it. You've said this so many times already. Like the amount of like long ass passages in here that was like talking about the same topic, I was getting really bored with. Kind of wish that it spiraled a little bit more. Like it just kind of felt very surfacey for me. It didn't really feel like a big existential book, even though it is all about existence and questioning it. I didn't feel a whole lot of existentialism. I didn't feel a whole lot of like impact with like parallel universes or time or physics or space, which is stuff that I love in books. I absolutely love that stuff in books. But I just don't think this one really hit the mark for me. But it was super fun to read, like I said, until like the 2/3 way through. The last third I was kind of like, oh, okay. I actually thought of a better ending. As I was reading this, I thought it was coasting towards the ending I was predicting, but it didn't. I don't know, I think I kind of would have liked where my brain took me more than where this actually ended. It just ended a little too like trying to be vague, and I think it could have just been a little bit more concrete. It didn't need to have like a super vague meta ending, especially with like what the book already gave us, where everything was really kind of surfacey and concrete feeling. Like even though she's bouncing through different lives, like it did feel very normal writing style, like a very linear writing style, like this happened, this happened, this happened, this happened. So it didn't really quite make sense for me personally to have like a vague ooh kind of ending. I don't know. Those are just my thoughts. I'm rambling. I literally just finished it, so I haven't really thought about it until now I'm talking to you. So everything that's coming out of my mouth is just like the first time I've thought it. So yeah, 3 stars, not a bad book. That being said, not feeling super pulled to read Summer by Karl Ove Knausgaard right now. Not feeling super pulled. I honestly might put it back on my shelves and maybe revisit it next summer or something, and just kind of see how things feel. But I'm not feeling super pulled to it right now, and that's totally fine. I'm not like DNFing it. I'm just DNFing it for right now because I only ever got like 30-40 pages into it, and it's just a collection of essays. Like I don't think it is like a sit down and read the entire thing cover to cover kind of book. So I thought you and I could choose from my July TBR, which again, that video will be linked down below. This is a freaking weird stack. I just thought we could walk through them. And if you've seen my July TBR, you don't have to watch this part, but I am gonna briefly go over each book and kind of how I'm feeling about it right now, and then choosing which one I wanna read next. But let me know if you like videos like this, where we sit and discuss books and like try to choose the mood and picking the next read. I personally love it because it's just really calming to talk about the actual physical books themselves and to talk about how like I might feel while reading it. So I would just love to hear your thoughts. If this is super boring, let me know. I have them in this nice kind of height stack. We'll just start at the top. I'm not sure what I'm feeling next, honestly. I have no idea. So let's just take a peek at these books and go from there. First, we have A Bird in the Hand by Anne Cleves. This is a cutie mass market paperback book, and it is a murder mystery that follows a bird watcher that is found dead. And I think it follows the bird watching community as they try and discover like what happened to him. I think this one would just be so much fun. It's pretty short, it's very old, very well loved copy. So I think let's read the first sentence as well. I always love doing that, and I always forget that I like doing that. So the first sentence reads, "It was a warm May evening, a Saturday, and a small boy was playing with a homemade model boat at the edge of a pool." Ooh. That sounds summery. It's in May, but it does sound pretty summery, so that's an option. I'll put that in like a maybe pile. Then we have Tin Man by Sarah Winman. This is a beautiful copy that I found at Dollar Tree, if you can believe it. So this is a love story, a male-male romance. It looks like the 2 guys in this book met when they were young boys. They became friends, and then they started a relationship or like a romance. And many years later, one of them is married to a woman and the other is nowhere to be found. That sounds really interesting. Also, I just really want to see what this cover looks like without the dust jacket, because this color is so beautiful. Oh, look at that. Wow. So this one's definitely an option. It's very short. The chapter is called 1950. All Dora Judd ever told anyone about that night 3 weeks before Christmas was that she won the painting in a raffle. Ooh, this one's definitely an option. Let's put that one in the maybe pile as well. Next we have Aquamarine by Alice Hoffman. I'm actually gonna save this one because it is so itty bitty. I think this would be a perfect little breath of fresh air if I go anywhere, like a beach if it ever gets warm enough. So this one's gonna be a no for now. Then we have Tuck Everlasting by Natalie Babbitt. Again, I think I'm gonna save this one because I like to save shorter, more like, you know, YA, middle grade, easier to read books for in between books that were a little bit more dense. So this is a no for right now. Then we have The Dying Game by Asa Avdik. Chapter is called Anna. As one afternoon, the unit secretary came into my office. I think I'm gonna pass on this one. Again, I feel like this one would be a really fun page turner, really fast-paced book to read in between books that might be a little bit more daunting or difficult to read. So let's pass on this one. And then we have Queer by William S. Burroughs. I honestly don't know what this book is about, and I'm kind of keeping it that way. Let's read the first sentence though. There is an introduction, which I have learned to never read introductions because it spoils the entire plot. Lee turned his attention to a Jewish boy named Carl Steinberg, whom he had known casually for about a year. I think I'm gonna pass on this one as well for now. I'm not feeling super pulled. I don't know the plot, like I said, but that first sentence didn't like gripped me. So I'm gonna pass on this one for right now too. Then we have The Map of Salt and Stars by Zane Carter. And what's cool is that the first chapter is in the shape of Syria, and it's this little poem about Syria. And the first part of the poem reads, "Oh beloved, you are dying of a broken heart." But let's read the first chapter called The Earth and the Fig. This book is just so beautifully written. I'm really looking forward to reading this one. "The island of Manhattan's got holes in it, and that's where Baba sleeps." Oh, I'm gonna pass on this one too right now. I think I want something that will be a little bit more engrossing, not really literary fiction, but still has a nice story. I think I'm gonna want this one when I want a book that has beautiful writing and I can just like get super tucked in and nestled into the beautiful writing. Then we have In the Palm of Darkness by Myra Montero. I am so excited to read this book. So I honestly think I'm gonna save this one for later. I don't want to start this off like the first book that I read because this is a huge 5-star prediction for me. The first chapter is called Blue Sheep, and the first sentence reads, "A Tibetan astrologer told Martha I would die by fire." Oh my god, this is just a huge 5-star prediction for me, and I need to save it. I need to save it, that's for sure. Next, we have The People in the Trees by Hanya Yanagihara. This is a huge book. I'm not quite pulled to this book yet, but we'll go ahead and read this one. There is a preface. Part 1, The Creek. First sentence reads, "I was born in 1924 near Linden, Indiana. The sort of small, unremarkable rural town that some 20 years before my birth had begun to duplicate itself, quietly but insistently, across the Midwest." So this one's gonna be a no for right now. Hopefully I can get to it in July. Ooh, I don't know. I'm nervous for this one. And then the last one we have is The Secret of the Villa Mimosa by Elizabeth Adler. This is a book that I actually already started. I'm only like 10 pages in because I didn't bring another book and I found it in a little free library. So I am definitely curious to continue reading this. Like, it is almost 400 pages just for kicks and giggles. The first sentence of this book reads, "The man was blonde, tall, and definitely handsome, with the kind of well-muscled body that looked as good in clothes as you knew it would out of them." So I think out of these 3 that we have in the Navy pile, I think I'm actually going to continue with The Secret of the Villa Mimosa just because I've already started it and I am really enjoying it. I would hate to like start it and then not feel pulled back into it because I'm still thinking about this book and really wanting to know where it goes. It's kind of like a whodunit mystery. I think I'm gonna do this because that way it's longer. I definitely won't finish this in 2 days, but I'll definitely finish it by the start of July, so it'll be in my July wrap up. Does that sound good? I think that sounds pretty good. So we'll go ahead and start with this, and as I keep reading, I'll definitely tell you all more about it. I supposed to read? How am I supposed to read?
Good morning, friends. Good morning. Iced coffee time. It is like 7:30 in the morning on Wednesday. What day do I think it is? It's Wednesday. This is a new filming angle. You can see the pink glow of my Himalayan salt lamp on my face and some rays of light. I hope it's not super weird, but hello, Winston. Winston is on a whole new level this morning. He is being very loud and obnoxious. I have quite a list of errands to go on today before I start my work day today. So I thought I would sit down with you all and chat because we have not chatted that much about The Secret of the Villa Mimosa by Elizabeth Adler. So I am now on page 77 and that is the start of chapter 11. I am having so much fun with this. I really have no idea where it's gonna go and if I'll continue to enjoy it, but this moment in time, I am thoroughly enjoying it. So let's talk about the plot and what's happening, because I don't know if I'll have this finished by the time I start up next week's reading vlog. So who knows? Let's get a little context, a little backstory. So when we open up this book, we're reading from this unknown male's kind of perspective. It's all third person, but we're hovering over him. And it talks about how he has drugged a young woman, put her in his car, and then dumped her into a ravine, just like pushed her off into this giant trench. And then we begin the first chapter with a homicide detective. So he brings the morgue there and like all of the people who handle like, you know, actual homicides. And they kind of like airlift her up out of the ravine. She finally reaches the top. They realize she has a freaking pulse. She is still alive. And now has become like an attempted murder case, which the homicide detective is like, this is just so much harder to figure out, like attempted murder rather than a homicide. So this poor woman, we read from kind of her perspective as she's waking up from a 3-week coma. She's super disoriented and she's diagnosed with having severe amnesia. She can't remember who she is. Every time she thinks back, it's just complete darkness and blankness, like she has no idea what's happening. At the same time, we're also reading from this woman's perspective. I believe she's probably like in her early to mid 30s, and her name is Dr. Phil Forrester, and she is like a Dr. Phil character. Dr. Phil, what's his last name? McGraw? Phil McGraw? I don't remember. You know Dr. Phil, the celebrity guy? Kind of like that. She's a celebrity psychiatrist and she is really well known. She's really popular. She's super successful and she takes an unlikely kind of obsession with this case, and she sits by this young woman's bedside as she's recovering from a bunch of broken bones and amnesia and stuff. And she just feels really like emotionally pulled to her. And when the young woman wakes up, the Jane Doe, hello,
the Jane Doe, Dr. Phil Forrester is by her bedside. They actually become really good friends, and she visits her every day and they talk, and she's like trying to be a friend or kind of a mother figure because no one has come forward for this Jane Doe. But Dr. Phil Forrester decides to put our Jane Doe under hypnosis, and when she does that, Jane Doe starts speaking fluent French. And this takes place in San Francisco. So they're like, okay. So they start to piece together some things. So that's like the plot. But in there right now, the detective, Franco Mahoney, he is just being a super simp for Dr. Phil Forrester. Like, he is like coming over to her apartment and trying to woo her. He gives her a freaking kitten. I don't know why. Like, he's just like, you need something else to take care of. You're just a sad little woman who doesn't have anything else except for her career. Oh, you need more. So he like gives her a kitten, and there's this like weird kind of romance going on, and I'm just like not really here for it. So I don't think I was quite right in my July TBR in saying that this might be a sapphic romance. It is not the vibes I'm picking up right now. I'm definitely picking up a very hetero relationship between the detective and the psychiatrist. And, you know, he is like a burly detective guy, super ripped, super hot, but guess what? He loves cooking, and he loves French literature, and he loves classic poetry and just quotes like freaking Victorian era poetry or Greek hero stanzas. I don't know, like it's super bizarre, and I'm like, this guy. And so of course the doctor is starting to like, you know, starting to feel some sort of way. Anyway, so after the Jane Doe has spoken fluent French, Dr. Phil Forrester, the psychiatrist, was like, okay, let's, you know, we can't keep calling you Jane Doe. Why don't you pick out a name? And so she decides to call herself Beatrice French, which they kind of get a giggle out of. So they call her B. So once B is like discharged after like 6+ weeks in the hospital, she actually lives with Dr. Phil Forrester, and it's kind of talking about their really cute relationship where it's kind of like a mother-daughter mentor thing. And where I am at right now, B, the Jane Doe, has left San Francisco to go work in New York, and this was a connection that Dr. Phil Forrester set up for her. She was like, you should definitely leave San Francisco while, you know, the person who attempted to murder you is still out and about. You should just go work with this lady I know in New York and just like, you know, just be away for a while, and then you'll travel to Paris to work this gig. And she's working as kind of like a social secretary, and we'll reconvene in France. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. It is just a lot of fun. The writing style isn't anything that's like, wow. It's just more of the story. It's very plot driven. I am really excited to see where it goes. Like, it could be really hokey corny, or it could just be really fun. And either way, that's fun, right? Like, either way, it's gonna be a fun time. And I am really enjoying it. So I have made a pretty sizable dent. I believe this book is around 350 pages. So that is where I'm at. I'm really enjoying it. It reads really fast. It's very accessible. And like I said, it's very plot driven. So it's not like anything crazy with the writing style. It's very much like a linear storyline. So I am really curious to finish this and see what happens with it in the next week or so. So that is it, my friends. Thank you so incredibly much for being here for this week's reading vlog. I don't know if it was super successful. I ended up not filming a whole lot, but that's okay. After my wedding on Sunday, I just took the next day to like just stay at home and recharge and clean the house and just be at home, and that was really needed. That was really nice. But of course I didn't really film that much then because there wasn't a whole lot going on at home. I was just literally like in my PJs all day and vegging out, and I love that. So I really appreciate you all being here. I just hope it was still cozy and entertaining for you all. Definitely not my favorite vlog of all time, but hey, we still got to talk about some books and pick out new books and figure out what the heck I'm reading, and that makes me really happy. And to read good books, that's what this is all about, is to discover and find new books and to read them and discuss them. That is why I started this channel. So I hope you enjoyed. I hope you're doing really, really well wherever you are, and I will see you all again very soon for my next video. Stay cozy, my friends. Bye.